Hey friends, how are you guys? Welcome to the next episode of Story of Nearly Everything, right? This session again, this is a very demanding exercise. I must admit, right? This is a very demanding exercise, and we are planning to make it bi-monthly. We are planning to make it bi-monthly because it has been slightly off the schedule, and I wasn't able to take time out to actually do the rigorous research which this series demands, the way we have conceptualized it, right? So it is because of my lack of, what should I say? Probably enough scholarly depth to quickly round up these issues. We are trying to limit it to bi-monthly. I hope you will understand, right? Because I do not want you guys to miss out on some important aspects. That would be insane from my part. Because if UPSC gives you one of these essays and you have, listened to these videos here, then I would expect you to write the best of the essays. And if I have missed a couple of components, it will be causing each one of us here heartburn, right? कि हम लोगों ने जल्दबाजी में देखो कुछ नुकसान कराया किसी का, right? So what I would be doing is I would be making it, I would ensure the rigorous research goes on. I would ensure that you get quality, good content, which you can begin to trust gradually, right? Trust is gradual. Trust is gradual. Okay. So, keeping that in mind, I have another very interesting theme for you people. I hope you like it. This is a story of coinage. Right? This is something which is very interesting. Story of coinage, currency. These are massive topics. And I wanted to keep the context limited to the subcontinent. Okay? We have decided to break this session down into two parts. In the first part, I would be talking about our coinage till ancient times, till the times of Gupta, right? And the medieval coinage. And from there, the modern developments, right, will also be taken up in the second part of the lecture. This is how I am looking at these two sessions together. History of coinage we are going to cover. We are going to talk about Cowrie say Bitcoin. This is the entire evolution. If we look at earliest of our histories, the subcontinent I'm talking about, we were trading with cowries as currency. And now we are dealing in Bitcoin. It's a huge evolution story. I would not be taking up a lot of aspects of Bitcoins because my knowledge there is pretty limited, right? But I would definitely try and give you some idea, which is important for its historical understanding, maybe, right? So, keeping all my limitations in your head, kindly proceed in a very, very cautious manner. Herodotus, he's known as father of history in West, right? In Western tradition, he's considered as father of history. So according to Herodotus, he says that the Lydians, who are the Lydians? The Lydians are, a small state, a small kingdom, I should say, in Asia Minor, Anatolia, modern day Turkey region. And it is these Lydians who in 8th century CE, 7th century CE start coming up with the earliest of the coins as we know them today. This is how the current scholarship looks at the issue. Although a lot of people claim that Indian coins are also one of the oldest in the world. And some of them definitely are. Some of them definitely seem to be. Anyway, moving ahead, right? These early coinage, if you see, they were made up of an alloy of gold and silver, a naturally occurring alloy called as electrum. Yeah, electrum coins, this is how they look like. This is how they looked like. Right? Then the Lydians, again, they were the first one to come up with bimetallic monetary system. Bimetallic monetary system. What does that mean? That means they had separate gold and separate silver coins. They called it croisades. They called it croisades. Right? Another early developments that we look at, globally speaking, the Achaemenids. Like in so many other areas, the Achaemenids were pioneer in coinage as well. If you recall, Achaemenids are the Persian Empire. They were the ones who managed to, especially you recall that guy, Darius. Right, Darius, they managed to capture so much of this, not only Persia, but modern day Iraq, Syria, Levant, Asia Minor, so many Ionian states, Greek states, Macedon, Lydia. And they learned coinage from Lydians. And now they introduce it here in their empire. और उनके empire के बगल में this Darius guy, he was also controlling a lot of region of Gandhara and all, didn't he? So do you see how the elements of coinage, the elements of Greek art, elements of Persian, coinage, and so many other features traveled in this manner to India. And that must have been the other way around as well. Features of India taken over by Persia, introduced in Mediterranean world. So Persia must have played Achaemenids must have played a very important role here, isn't it? They were bridging somewhere the Mediterranean and Indian Ocean. Right? So we find Achaemenids also issue coins, right? They issue, two coins actually. A golden coin called as a Daric and a silver coin called as siglos. Again, a bimetallic currency system, a bimetallic currency system here. This is a Daric, and I think we have an image of a siglos. No, I don't have it. But yeah, siglos was pretty much just like this, except it was in silver. Okay. Now when we come to the subcontinent, and start looking at this region more, carefully. As I was telling you, cowrie shells, somewhere we were very intimately associated with nature. These cowrie shells were found in mostly in Maldives. You देख रहे हो, यहाँ कहीं, इधर कहीं मिलते थे. And they would get these cowrie shells and they would be used as a form of exchange. like a currency. How ingenious. Similarly, for weighing, for weight system, that means what should be the weightage of what should be the weight of these semi-precious stones in jewelry, or what should be the weights of the coin. Kitna gold, kitna silver, this is task of jewelry. They were using Ratti, which is still in use, not only in India, it is still in use in Pakistan. Ratti, Masha, Tola, Tola suna hoga, Ser. These words which are often used, at least in North India, I have noticed them. Right? Do you see they're very old systems. Some of them are actually Harappan. We will see. We will see. It's very intriguing. Coinage has a very fascinating history. Right? आगे देख रहे हैं बच्चे, बात को बढ़ा रहे हैं. IVC, the Harappans, they may have used metals of fixed weights for trade activity. क्या मतलब, मैं क्या कहना चाह रहा हूं? IVC, Harappan civilization, they were pretty advanced. They may have used, because they had very uniform system of weights and balances, weights and measurements, isn't it? So they may have used uniform, weights as well, right? For currency, for currency, as currency, for example, because they could weigh so accurately, so they could assign rupee, they could assign value to it. And that could act as a currency. That could act as a form of a currency. Isn't it? A proper, strenuous weighing system is essential. Okay. We also find, right? We also find certain chalcolithic gold pieces and metal pieces, which may have, they do not have any ornamentation, right? And it seems that they may have had been, they may have had, some kind of a usage as currency too. This is Ratti. What is Ratti? Ratti is basically seed of Gunja plant. Right? It is known for its uniform shape and weight. That is one of its wonderful features. You get my point? That's one of its most wonderful features. And since the Bronze Age, that means since Harappan civilization, the subcontinent somewhere has used this Ratti as an important component of weighing small weights. Small weights. Ratti is equal to 0.11 or 0.12 gram. This much is the uniformity. Right? For IVC, for Harappan civilization, it seems that 8 Ratti, that means 0.11 into 8, that seems to be the standard unit. उसी के रेशियो बनाए गए हैं, उसी के रेशियोज बनाए गए हैं 8 रत्ती के. Later on, this 8 Ratti comes to be known as a Masha and becomes the standard unit. This is a very fascinating connect. And this cannot be coincidence. This cannot be coincidence. Do you see? Somewhere this tradition was very popular and people picked it up from the local population. That is one thing which you can argue. Other thing which some people can argue is that it implies that Aryans and the Harappans are the same people. I'll leave it for you to weigh both sides and see which one is giving more substantial evidence. अपने दिमाग का इस्तेमाल जरूर करो बच्चे, तभी आनंद है किसी भी चीज में, isn't it? Do not just agree, never agree. Okay, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. This system was replicated in the earlier coins, the Vedic coins and all. They replicated it. जो वेदास में, शतपथ ब्राह्मणा में, all the coinage system which has been referred, they all follow this weight system. Ratti, Masha, Tola. Its genesis is right here. Yeah, this is the list, right? This is the list. I managed to find it. Ratti, Masha, Karsh, Nishk, Sukti. These terms can often be asked in your prelims. ये देखो, two manika, ser, एक शेर, दो शेर, it's a very popular term. At least in the Hindi belt, I can vouch for it. I don't know for other regions. I would love to know from other people. I would love to. I'm sure I would be able to. तुम लोग बताओगे तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा. If you guys can tell me that do you guys have, such terms in your local, geographies or not? If you have, let me know, please. Tola, this is what it is coming from. 20 tola, 8 tola. Such terms, keep them in mind if possible. This is the Indus weight system. One Ratti is also known as the Krishnala. In Shatpath Brahmana, one Ratti is also called as a Krishnala. 100 Ratti or 100 Krishnala is equal to 1 Shatmana. And this will be somewhere 11 grams of pure silver. These terms, please try and keep them in mind if possible. Karjapan. Karjapan is equal to 32 Ratti. Chanakya makes reference to this Karjapan. This 32 Ratti as the most, because I don't know whether you guys know this or not, Chanakya, he gives detailed salary of each functionary of the state. Right? And he gives it in the unit of Pana. So he calls 32 Rattis as a Puran or Dharan. Such terms have been used in Arthashastra for currency, and they all represent somewhere one Karjapan, that is 32 Ratti. 8 Ratti is equal to Masha. I know probably all these details will not be required. Right? But somewhere, if you have understood it, then I think you can make this point in your mains answer. In your mains answer. The continuities of Harappa. or in your essay maybe. These are some of the early punch-marked coins that we start finding from around 500 BCE across the Mahajanpads and Janapads. Panini, this is very interesting. Panini, the famous grammarian, writer of your Ashtadhyayi, isn't it? He is using the term roop to mean a piece of a precious metal, mostly silver. And he is using the term rupya to mean a stamped piece of metal, a punch-marked piece of metal, like a coin. So if you see, the word rupya and rupya are very same. Origin, Panini. He is providing us the first evidence of its usage. Interesting, isn't it? These early, in India, देखो एक बात समझ लेते हैं यहीं पे स्टोरी जरा जल्दी से. Your early coins are punch-marked coins. What they are basically, they have just, taken, molten metal, and once they are solidifying, they have punched one symbol, two symbol, three symbol, four symbol, five, etc. Different symbols indicating different things. These are called as punch-marked coins. Early coinage in India is punch-marked coinage. Then the Greeks come in. The Bactrian Greeks in post-Mauryan period. And that is when die struck. Right? Those kinds of Greco-Roman coinage starts coming into the picture. Okay? ये बात एक थोड़ी सी ध्यान रखना. In South India, the punch-marked coinage continues for 300 more years. In South India, the punch-marked coinage, it goes on for 300 more years. Chaliye. So the early punch-marked coins that we find in the subcontinent, it is basically a sort of an marriage between Greek coinage, the Lydian coinage, and Iranian bar currency. These are one of the earliest punch-marked coins. Do you see? They have irregular shape, but their weights are uniform. And they have been, punched by different marks. Marks representing ruling families. Marks may be representing those Mahajanpad, their state's authority. Some of them, these punch-marked coins, early coins, may well have been issued by, guilds. Right? These are Gandharan bent bars. The punch-marked coins. You can notice the sun. Right? Initially in Gandhara, we notice bar kind. This is the Persian influence. Even, Janpads such as the Shakya kingdom, chiefdom, right? Shakya Gan or a Sangh. right? The Shakya is the clan where Buddha is born. They are also issuing coins made of silver and copper. So coinage was quite common now. This is the punchmark coin of Nanda dynasty of Magad. Nanda dynasty. It had 5 symbols. Interesting. Sun symbol. Right? A six-armed symbol. This is a typical symbol of the Magad. Very interesting. Indradhwaj, flanked by 4 taurines. These are the coins of punch-marked coins of the Mauryans, which are found well spread over. These are punch-marked coins of Mauryans, Ashoka and all. They are found spread well over the subcontinent. Ashoka had a huge empire. So his coinage, as you can expect, spread far and wide. So as the Mauryan Empire, that goes down, as the Mauryan Empire goes down, this is where some very important change takes place. The Indo-Greeks, the Bactrians, they get into the scene now, right? And they start introducing Greco-Roman kind of coinage. They start introducing Greco-Roman kind of coinage. And we start noticing cast die-struck coins. These are cast die-struck coins. Right? The coin devices are Indian, but it is thought that this coin technology was introduced from the West. Some die-struck coins, some stray coins have been found here and there. The dating does seem to be a problem. So some new understanding awaits us there. So these are the Indo-Greeks. They start introducing the Greek types. Among them, the portrait head. This is one very significant coinage system which the Greeks introduced in silver. And their example was followed for 800 years. Till 600 CE, such gold coins, such silver coins and gold coins will be introduced. The Greeks introduced the silver coinage. They are not minting gold coins. They're only minting silver coinage. This is this first coin. This is by Demetrius, also known as a Dharma myth. They are coming around 180 BC, and he is the first Bactrian king to strike square copper coins of Indian type, where he is using Greek script as well as a Kharoshthi script. Greek script as well as the Kharoshthi script. This is of course, famous Menander. This is famous Menander from Milinda, right? The Indo-Greek king. And he has also issued some magnificent coins. A case in point is this. A case in point is this coin. These are not punch-marked coins. These are die-struck, cast coins. As the Greek influence spread around, as the Greek influence spread around, there were a lot of small confederacies, Gan or Sangh, ruled by some Kshatriyas, which were quite militant, some of them, such as Yaudheya. Their name itself, if you see, is coming from Yudh, right? So Yaudheya, Audambara, Kunind, these guys, they also start coming up with their own coinage, which was influenced by Greeks. Right? So we start finding such coins which were issued. This one was issued by Yaudheya. So they started soaking in the Greek influence and also pouring down a lot of Indian influence. In South India, as I was telling you, punch-marked coinage, it persists for, 300 more years. वहां पे punch-marked coins ही चलेंगे. Interesting, right? And this is one coin which probably is something which you can keep in mind. This is issued by Vashishti Putra Shri Pulumavi. Notice the boat on the coin. It's a lead coin, right? Coins of lead, copper, they indicate monetization of the economy. They indicate monetization of the economy, right? The South Indian kings, what they did was they simply carried on, or I should say the South Indian chiefs. Sangamej ki baat ho rahi hai bhaiyo. So the South Indian kings reissued Roman-like coinage in their own name. Either they produced their own copies or they defaced real ones. That means they would just make a scratch mark. They would just make a scratch mark and write their own name. Something, or maybe make their symbol. Right? Early coins of India till the 1st century were made of silver and copper only. Gold coinage was not introduced till 1st century CE. Right? Roman denarii and auri was then introduced. How come was it introduced in 1st century CE? If you recall, Periplus of Erythraean Sea, direct Indo-Roman trade began. And now Roman ships started coming directly to the ports of subcontinent. And Roman coinage flushed Indian lands. And now the Kushans, Kushans had also managed to join together, Central Asia and Uttarpat in one rule. And there they were getting also a lot of gold. And all this rain of gold, right? It led to coming up of gold coinage, which was issued by these Kushan kings. And then later, Kushan kings ne jab issue kiya, so they issued it with a lot of foreign influence as well. There were Iranian deities, there were Greek deities, there were pre-Iranian deities. But then when Kushans are gone and Guptas emerge, then you will notice very Indianized Gupta numismatics will emerge, which will be the most wonderful, one of the most wonderful specimen of Indian art. The most wonderful. Let's quickly have a look, right? So Kushans, they heralded the minting of gold coins. Initially, there was a lot of confusion in the minds of scholars that what is the precise dating, what is the precise genealogy of early Kushan emperors. In this context, I want to make a reference about Rabbathak inscription. It is in Afghanistan. This inscription is important for us. Two reasons. One, it is by Kanishka. Second, it is in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan is very important right now, right? So anything which associates us to Afghanistan is doubly important for us, both from the perspective of prelims and as well as mains. As well as a person, you should be aware, right? As a person who's genuinely interested in history, you should be aware of it, right? So Rabbathak inscription in Afghanistan, somewhere around here, beyond Hindu Kush, if you see, right at the border of Hindu Kush. This inscription, right, it is written on the orders of Kanishka and refers to Kanishka as a Devaputra. Devaputra, right? This is how it is written. It is written in Greek script and uses Bactrian language, right? It gives us very wonderful genealogy of Kushan emperors, right? Here, I would just like to name one, Bhima Cadphises. He is the one who introduced gold coinage in India. Bhima Cadphises. He is the one who introduced gold coinage in India. He even sent ambassador to the Roman court of Emperor Trajan. Ptolemy and the king Tiberius, Emperor Tiberius, they are worried that all the Roman gold is being flushed out and drained out there. So they are worried of drain of wealth in that time. And Dadabhai Nauroji, history does have a tendency to repeat, I think, isn't it? Interesting. So there was a very interesting drain of wealth going on. And Bhima even sent an embassy to the court of Trajan. And of course, the fourth ruler is Kanishka, the greatest of all. Rules in early part of 2nd century CE. Under Kanishka and Huvishka, these coins, they started becoming Indianized. Coins of this fellow, Bhima, they are quite foreign. They do not have any Indianness. Their legend is written in a foreign language, foreign script. The deities are foreign. The king, the kind of costume is the king wearing, it's absolutely foreign. Doesn't make sense, right? But under Kanishka and Huvishka, deities became more and more Indianized. There are more than 30 deities that have been represented in the coinage of these Kushan rulers, right? Pre-Zoroastrian, Hindu, Buddhist, they all come, right? Let's have a look at, these are Greco-Roman deities such as Nike, Zeus, Heracles, right? Mesopotamian deities as well. Nanaya, Nana, Nanashao. These are Mesopotamian deities. These are Iranian deities, so many of them. Right? These are some of the Indian deities, Brahmanical deities, and of course, Vado or Buddha. And this is where Gandhara art absolutely became world class. Right? This is Gautam Buddha on his coinage. He patronized Mahayana Buddhism, which deified Buddha. See, other gods of India as well present, other gods of Brahmanical or Hindu order, as you want to call it. This is Oesho. Some people relate it to Shiva. Other people say, no, this is not Shiva. This is basically the Vayu, god of Zenda Avesta. Right? Then we notice Skanda Kumar. Skand we notice, Kartikeya. And this guy, Mahasen, इसको भी iconography पर representation हमें मिलता है. Who is this Mahasen guy? I was not able to find any concrete evidence about it. See, the kings are present here as well. These coinage, Kushan coinage, they were not simply, there for trade purpose. They were not simply medium of exchange. This is where I think you should appreciate. They were a vehicle of propaganda. They were a claim of divine legitimacy. That we are divinely ordained to rule. It was a vehicle of propaganda where the king will be showed in all glory. It also indicated their religious syncretism. That means they were happy to assimilate everybody within their grand empire. Right? And it also is, it was also expected to show military might and material prosperity. Kushan, gold coins, right? Coins were also issued by city administration, such as Ujjain, Varanasi, Koshambi, Vidisha, etc., Takshila, etc. Merchant guilds, they also issued coins. Right? Merchant guilds, they are also issuing coins. The Gupta coinage, the Gupta numismatic is inspired by the Kushans. It is inspired by the Kushans. And the process of Indianization, it continued. It continued. Right? It continued. Samudragupta, he struck 7 different kinds of coins. Right? All right. Let's have a look at some of these coins. I want you to appreciate them for 5 minutes and see what we can derive out of them. On the obverse, right, will be a ruler. And on the reverse will be a goddess. So this is the king holding his this is the king holding his scepter, showing his authority, right? And then on the other side, we have a goddess. This is the king and queen type. King and the queen type. This was issued by Chandragupta II. This is archer type. This is the most common. Notice how he is standing as an archer. How the goddess has her feet on a very strange, mythical sea creature. A combination of tortoise and a couple of other animals, probably elephant and something like that. Kachwaha or something, we call it that. I've read it once, so not too sure. This is battle axe type. Farsa jise kehte hain. This is all Samudragupta work. This is all Samudragupta work. Ashwamedh, type. Look at how horses have been drawn. See how Indian they are. They are inspired by Kushans. But see how they have gone ahead with the process of Indianization. This is the lyrist type, Samudragupta, standing and playing, sitting on a couch and playing veena. How beautiful, how beautiful. Look at the goddess as well. Wow, this is tiger slayer. Samudragupta slaying the tiger, and look at the expression, the emotion of the tiger. And notice, this is river goddess Ganga. Standing on this, elephant-like of a mythical creature. Very beautiful coinage, very beautiful coinage. They would also have a lot of legends, written on the coinage. Samudragupta, he would call himself Parakramaha. He would call himself Parakramaha. Kritant Parashu. Vyagra Parakramaha. Right? So he must have been a massive warrior. You remember Allahabad Prashasti, isn't it? Chandragupta also issued large number of gold coinage, right? Some unique as well, some just like Samudragupta. And he also issued the first silver coins. You remember, I'm sure you must have read it somewhere, that Chandragupta II, he had a matrimonial alliance with Vakatak and he defeated the Shakas. That, he defeated the Shakas and adopted the title Shakari. Right? And just like the Shakas used to, right? The Shakas also issued certain coinage. So Chandragupta II, he issued silver coins following their design. Following their design. Following the designs of the, Western Shakas or Kshatrapas. These are the coins of Chandragupta II. Notice one thing, how the iconography, how the, skill, it becomes so much more pronounced from one emperor to the other. That is also a very beautiful thing to observe. The same types will now look so much better and refined. Right? This is why it is known as a golden era. So many Indianized coins. That's beautiful. Wow, look at him sitting on a horse. This is tiger slayer. He is slaying. This is the Chandragupta II slaying the tiger. Look at how beautiful his abs and everything, the physical anatomy. Do you see how beautiful it has been carved? This is why I'm telling you, this is testament to one of the best of the art that has come out of the ancient India. Gupta numismatics. This was the silver coin which I was talking about. Chandragupta also issued silver coinage on the models of the Western Kshatrapa. Finally, we will look at coins of Kumaragupta, and after this, this is the pinnacle. After this, somewhere Indian numismatics takes a hit for several reasons. This becomes the pinnacle of numismatic art, Kumaragupta coinage. And after that, we will notice that the art of numismatics suffered. Why? Because these metals were no more present. We enter an entirely new phase of our history, where these metals of silver and gold, right, they become more and more scarce. Again, notice how the iconography, how the craftsmanship is becoming so much more confident and refined. Notice the peacock. Notice the abs. See how much detailing has been done. Look at this mythical figure, how that is evolving. This looks more like a tiger, doesn't it? See? He's killing a lion, slaying a lion, Kumaragupta. This is tiger slayer. He's killing a tiger now. This is the most magical of them all, I believe. Look at the expression of the rhinoceros, dude. Look at the expression, the way it has been drawn. It must have taken so much of skill. See, this is how they're trying to get divine legitimacy. On one side, you notice Kumaragupta is represented with a peacock. And on the other side of the coin, you have Kartikeya, the god, sitting atop the peacock. You get the symbolism, you get the role the coinage is expected to play. One question. This is part one, remember. So we are going to cover till Gupta, and then I'm going to, give you time off to think about this, and then I'll come back. And we'll take this discussion forward. I'll also need some time to prepare myself before I come and open my mouth. That's important. Okay? So, what I'm trying to tell you here is, देखो बेटे, इनकी blank history मत पढ़ो. Think about it. What is the role that coinage was playing vis-a-vis politics, vis-a-vis society, vis-a-vis art? Try and understand that role and compare how that role has changed, evolved throughout the ages. That is where the question will lie. अभी देखो ना, अभी भी तो अपने करेंसी में, अपने कॉइन्स में क्या क्या लिखा रहता है, क्या क्या बना रहता है. Why? What is its importance? Think about it. That is your task for today. Think about it. क्यों बनाते हैं यार? क्या divine legitimacy? Parliamentary legitimacy. Think about it. Think about it, man. So yeah, this is Kumaragupta. All right, so as you just saw, right, silver coins, lead coins, etc. were introduced. But after this, the Indian numismatics takes a hit. We do find certain coinage, but they are limited. Their design suffers. The wonderful skill which is at display here is all but lost. Right? Indian numismatics suffered majorly. Right? I will take up that story and beyond in our next session. God bless you all. Have fun.